Let me try. Let me try to get re-warmed up after this. I had started doing this, realized that my mic wasn't plugged in, and I'm not gonna take that lightly because I'm not gonna put too much stake in that, because I'd be lying if I said I even could really tell the difference between my phone's audio and my microphone audio. But I spent too much money on it, so I'm gonna have to plug. I'm so dense. It's still unplugged. Come here. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, welcome back to my ASMR channel. How we feel? Get warmed up. I need to pretend there's an audience in front of me. An audience that will support me, even if they shouldn't, no matter what. Will laugh when I'm not funny. I need an audience. White girls. Boom! White girls, 60 of them. 60 deep, right there in front of me. Ah, Derek, you're great. Okay. Let's get after it. I've decided, rather than being... Should I hide my outlet? Be honest. Is it ugly? I'll keep it in there. No, what's ugly is the scene underneath my comforter. Boom. Oh, gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I've decided I just realized actually that it's going to be a long weekend. I didn't realize that Monday was Martin Luther King Day. So, I just found out I don't have school Monday, which means I've been sitting here, and I don't really have class on Friday either. So, I've been sitting here. Yesterday was Friday, today's Saturday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I was about to go 4 days straight doing absolutely nothing productive. And I'm not saying I'm not capable of that, because I definitely am. The problem is, I just spent the last 4 days, because it's the first week of the new semester, so we're not doing anything, don't really have any homework or anything. So I spent the last 4 days doing nothing productive. I was about to spend the next 4 days doing nothing productive, and I don't know if I can handle 8 days straight. Forgive me for burping. So I was like, what can I do? I'm gonna cut the camera on, and I'm going to express my feelings, mostly, primarily. Some of these aren't even feelings, just thoughts. Some of it is just neither, no thought, no feelings, but into it. Just, word vomit. But that's the way I operate. So if you are interested, please don't click off. If you are my friend, please do not click off. But I wanted to start. Should I give this a name? Should I do this more than once? Doesn't matter what I think. It probably will end up happening just this one time, because I found a weird spurt of encouragement. One day I'm going to be a taller, less handsome version of Ellen with a show. So I figured I could start practicing, warming up. Audience right there, white girls. But I wanted to start this by a show. Should I call this a show? I'm gonna call it a show. Let me live my little fantasy here. I don't know the name for it though. Let me not think about it too much. I'll figure it out. Anyway, I want to start off this video. I don't know why I'm trying to be so deep about this video. With just talk about how horrible of a day I had yesterday. Now, I do say that lightly. I say that very lightly. There was absolutely nothing wrong with yesterday. But there's nothing good about it either. So, take it from a straight baseline of 0. If you see me looking off, I have my laptop right here. So I'm just using that to try to keep my thoughts cohesive. Don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll find out. And day started at 0. When you wake up, boom, a completely neutral day. It could go good, it can go bad. Usually it's like, breakfast is good. Shower is nice. And you start working your way up, and then it's like, someone calls you ugly. Boom. So you go from like a 10, good breakfast is a +5. Showering is a +5. And then someone calls you ugly, -20. Boom. You're at -10. But nothing really happened. I was like, the breakfast was alright. I don't think I took a shower yesterday morning, so don't call me nasty. I smelled fine. Completely neutral day walking. I had to go to I had one class, math. I hate math. Well, I don't hate math. I'm just bad at it. So I'll put that down to a -5. And then nothing really positive happened. Happened after that. I just kind of sat around, doing nothing. Actually, I'll go ahead and throw another negative on there. -5. Now we're down to -10. -10 because my friend Caden decided to go hang out with his girlfriend. So, already, it's a mildly bad day. Chill out. Look, nothing happens. It's completely neutral. Evening rolls around. I'm like, man, I'm getting kind of. Wait, I'm over here. I'm getting kind of hungry. So, that's like 5 o'clock when I first think about it. I'm like, yeah, I can get dinner. I was like, yeah, it can wait. It can wait. So, I finally decided I'm hungry enough after just lollygagging around. Said I'm hungry enough at like 6:30. I was like, I'm gonna go get dinner because usually the cafeteria here on campus closes at like 8 o'clock on weekdays. Oh, silly old me. Unbeknownst to me, on a Friday it closes at 6:30. Should be beknownst to me, given that I've been going to school here for 5 months. Still not beknownst to me in the slightest. There was no notes that was been through. It was not beknownst. But now I didn't know. I forgot. So I walk up to the cafeteria, drive all the way over there. Boy, it's like quarter mile. Walk all the way up there. Their doors have motion sensors. So I walk up to the door. It doesn't open. I'm like this. I'm like, surely the door doesn't see me. Why wouldn't it be opening right now? Making a damn fool of myself. Jumping in front of the motion sensor door. And I finally like, what's the deal? What's going on here? And I look at the thing. It says it closes at 6:30. I said, well, what the hell? I look at my phone. It's 6:33. No big deal, no big deal, no big deal. There's a Chick-fil-A on campus. So I decide, I'll just go there. I get my little Chick-fil-A. Oh, it's whatever. I'm like, oh, well, the original plan was to eat and then go to the library to work on some homework. Because I wanted to get all that done yesterday so I didn't have to worry about it. Get to the library, right across the street, Chick-fil-A, library right here. Here's the library. I'm like, ugh. Literally not a single car in the parking lot. That's bizarre. Let me park my car and walk to the door anyway. And get there. I'm looking at the library. It's kind of dark. How the hell are you going to read when no lights are on? Bizarre. Still hadn't put it together. The gears start to turn, though, when I start to turn. When I see that the sign says closed. Oh, the library's closed. Just like the cafeteria is. I don't know why the hell you close a library at 7 o'clock on a Friday on the college campus. Nobody was going to use that, I'm sure. But they killed the productivity. I can't work if I'm in my own space. I have to feel like a nuisance to get anything done. Or else I'll just sit around, play Xbox. I'll do anything except for my homework if I'm in my dorm. So, I've been talking a lot, taking in a lot of air. It tastes like tinfoil. Library's closed. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'll just be productive tomorrow. I wake up. No, let me not skip our story. That ended up leading me to Netflix. Of course, I'm sure we've all been there. And I was like, oh, I watched the first season. Y'all know the show, The End of the World. So I watched the first season back when it came out, like in junior year or something. And I thought it was just exquisite. It was like a rated R John Green book. So I decided I'd watch the second season, and I have some thoughts about it. Not that anybody cares what I have to say. I'd be the worst movie critic. I think every movie's the best. Every time I go see, I'm like, that takes the cake. Like, that's exquisitely done. It's muy perfecto. Until the next movie I see, and then I'm like, oh, I think that's the best movie I've ever seen. It's just a vicious cycle. But I decided I was going to watch it, and I have some thoughts. So the first, possibly the most important of these thoughts, is I'm so happy to see that British people are finally getting their Black Panther. Now, what do I mean by this? Show's about these white kids, edgy. One of them kills animals for fun. The other one just says bad words to her mom. Perfect. Captures the culture perfectly. And then they continue to disrespect their parents, run off, wild from the police, kill somebody. Typical white kid behavior. They crash a car too. Typical white kid behavior. So, I think that it is nice. I think it's nice that finally British people get the representation. I think it's time that we normalize people being British. Oh, and ooh, that'd be rude. I think one of them has like crooked teeth. So, more representation for the British. I think it's nice to get representation though, and although in my opinion, not that it holds any weight, like I said, I think it's exquisitely written. I guess is how shows are done. I think it's a well done TV show. I like it. I like it a lot. It's funny. I mean, I wouldn't call it action packed. It keeps it locked in. It's very quirky. That's what the main character. This is all you need to know. The main character would be like Emma Chamberlain, but without the money, and a little bit more brash. Not a lot more. Like a little bit. Like yeah, she's a little bit ruder, more abrupt. Not a ton. Don't take it the wrong way. A little bit more brash than Emma Chamberlain. A lot less money. A lot less. She does not have no Louis Vuitton flying her out to Paris. So, I think I can see myself in her. And I'll hopefully think of an example when I go back and watch this. I'll insert it right here as to why I can see myself in her. Boom!
Hey.
I've seen you skating. You're pretty shit.
Let's see if I actually managed to put something in there. It's the type of thing that makes you. I'm like, oh, I'm watching. I'm like, oh, it feels so profound. Like, there's just wisdom I can soak up through. And you think about it, it's like there's really nothing to gain from watching. It feels profound. There's no. It's not actually like. I mean, there's cute little quotes. It's a lot like John Green books. And it's like, oh, there's a quote. I'm like, ooh, that looked perfect on a sign. Be a perfect caption for an Instagram caption. But you get to think about it, you're like, what does that actually mean? Like, come on. You sound deep, but if I dive in and break my neck, it's not actually deep. But I liked it nonetheless. Just like everything else I've ever seen in my life. But still liked it. After I watched all 8 episodes of that, just back to back, I was interested because I've seen people on Twitter talk about the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix. If you don't know who Aaron Hernandez is, he used to be a football player, and then he killed people and went to prison. And then in prison, can I stop bumping my setup, please? It's a very fragile operation we've got going on here. I'm not working with a lot. One more bump and the whole system might come down. But I saw people talk about it on Twitter. If you don't know who Aaron Hernandez, yeah, he killed people, and then while in prison, he killed himself. And afterwards, they found out, or they did like brain scans. They found out he was suffering from brain injuries from theoretically, you can probably assume it's from playing football. So it was interesting because people brought a lot more attention to like the repeated head traumas football players take and how it can negatively affect their lives. All that. That being said, I thought it was very interesting. I think I still actually have one episode to watch. It was longer than I thought. I thought it was like an hour. Nah, they have like 5-hour-long episodes. So, or parts, I guess. I've watched 4 of them. But I think it's well done. Now, like I said, I wouldn't know. That was actually the first thing I heard people say. Like, it was interesting, but it was like put together poorly. It's not a well-done documentary. I'm like, well, this is news to me. I have no clue. I just know I was entertained and I felt informed after watching it. But something I've seen on Twitter, people really not a fan of the fact that they brought up how his quarter, like he was a tight end, so his quarterback from high school talked about how they both happen to be dudes, talked about how they used to engage in a relationship of the variety, and that could have played a role in just his internalized different things and why he ended up taking his life, because people like a news report broke that while he was in prison, somebody reported that he had done stuff with guys, and then a couple days later is when he actually killed himself. So there was theorizing. Of course, you can't prove anything, but people theorizing like, oh, this he was in the closet and this could have contributed partly to just the whole bad situation. But on the other side, I saw a lot of people being like, oh, I don't support murder, but I even less support outing someone. And I get, in theory, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. No, actually, let me not say that. In theory, it does not make sense. In theory, I'm like, I'll at least entertain the idea. But I've definitely had more sympathy for different people that haven't happened to have killed people. Ooh. Concept? Am I being too bold here? Am I out of pocket? Did I say something wrong? Like starving children, feel bad for them. Dogs, one eye. Rough go at it. I feel bad for them. People who are 20 years old and don't know how to dress. I feel bad for them, bro. I mean, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, like, eventually you're going to figure out green and purple don't really go together that well. But, all just examples of people I feel more myself. Honestly. Sometimes I have a bad day. Sometimes the library's closed, and I feel bad for myself. I'm like, damn, this sucks. More sympathy than I have for the guy who killed several people. And I think he didn't actually get, like, officially sentenced because he died first. But, at least from what I've seen, it certainly is looking pretty suspect he killed more than one person. So, I've felt worse for some people. There's some people that I had more empathy for. I don't know which one. Empathy and or sympathy for than dude who killed people. And at the same time, just in general, there's been issues that I've certainly been more pressed about than the sexuality of a murderer. It's like, you know how they say, it's not, don't let it define you. Like, your sexuality shouldn't define you. So I'm not going to let it define it. I'm going to let the killing people, that's going to be the defining factor, in my opinion, of his life. When you kill people, I think that should kind of take precedent over most other things. I think it's very interesting. And I definitely do see how it can be seen as important to just figuring out, the story, what led to somebody who was making millions to want to kill people. Maybe not even want, but just what led them to kill people. And then eventually themselves. So I see why it was added to the documentary, because it's an angle. But I don't think it's worth getting riled up about. Like, yeah, obviously, outing people's not a good thing to do. But at the same time, he's dead. How does it negatively affect him? No. You know who else is dead? The person he killed negatively affects him, his whole family. Yeah, so I'm not going to feel too sorry for him. Kind of keeping with football, actually. I don't know if y'all have seen, but there's a video after LSU won the national championship. There's a video, they're in the locker room. I heard, I don't even remember who I heard it from. I saw it on Facebook or something that Odell had spiked the Gatorade, which, in theory, boo-hoo, shame on you, Odell. But it'd be lying if he said it doesn't sound like a good time. So, if he did, I mean, gotta stay hydrated, you know what I'm saying? I need electrolytes. So, I don't know if that's actually true. Something that is true, though, I saw there's a video about it, where, if I bump this setup one more time, everything's coming, the London Bridge right in front of me. The crowd's not going to appreciate it. The white girls might not. The white girls support me no matter what. That's how they are. Yeah, I definitely did see a video of Odell spanking a security guard who talked to one of the players, though. And, so in the video, the security guard's talking to the player, whatever. Odell comes up behind him. Boom! Gets a piece of the yams. And, of course, in theory, it's like, well, you probably shouldn't spank a security guard. I saw some people saying it's a cop. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a cop. Security guard. Not that it should matter, but, if you say, you can definitely frame it. Odell Beckham Jr. Hit a police officer. It's different than Odell got a piece of yams from a security guard in the locker room. But, you're in a locker room. I could not count on two hands, so at least more than 10 times, where I've been in a locker room of football and someone's got a piece of these cheeks. Boom! caught me lacking. So you always kind of have to be on edge. Of course, it's not ideal for you to spank a security guard, but, and I'm definitely not going to victim blame the security guard who happened to get spanked. But you're in a locker room. They just won the national championship. It might want to at least keep them here. Keep them here. Keep yourself guarded. That's your best bet. I mean, boom. What's Odell gonna do? Give you a high five? No, that just becomes suspect. So I'm not gonna victim blame the security guard, but I think it's silly. I saw today also that he dropped the charges. I think I'm not like attacking him for this. I think it probably is Odell's threw some money and said, let's settle this. Let's not let it become something. Let's become a whole deal. Don't blame security guard at all. If a professional athlete happened to, I'll just throw Odell. If Odell happened to, if I was walking in the locker room or something, he came up, smacked me in the touche. My hip, my back, he messed me up. I'm injured. I can't walk for life. Let me get my money. So I'm not going to shame the security guard for doing that. So, honestly, I've been spanked how many times in the locker room? If after it happened, when someone was like, you have the opportunity to sue this person. You can get some money from this. I'm not going to go far enough to say I wouldn't explore the option. So I don't think there's anybody to blame there. I think it's pretty corny that people are talking about. I think it's pretty corny. People are trying to make this a big thing. Oh, look at Odell's character. He's trying to make it all about him. So it's a bunch of big sports personalities and people on Twitter with blue checks. Is the white check blue? I think the check's blue. People on Twitter with check marks in their name. He's just doing it for the attention. So, well, what is your job about? If you're running a sports talk show, your whole career is to get attention. So, I don't understand why that has to be a knock on him per se. He's just having fun. He's 26 or something. This might be bold. I don't think Odell would have these problems if he was ugly. Hear me out. No, actually, I don't think there's much explaining to be done. Cute people have it hard. Pretty. Do you know how hard we have it? One time I was at a casino with my family, and this group of girls comes up and says, "Are you one of the Dolan twins?" No, I don't want to get this twisted. I don't want this to be people say I look like Beyonce. What do y'all think? No, she came up to me. Boy, I looked at her so stupid. I looked at her I said, what? I looked at her cross-eyed. I had a dangly earring. I think that's what got it. But I was like, bruh, I'm 5'9". What are you on? I'm 5'9". I have long, my shoulders aren't broad. I've got cankles. Nothing that the Dolan twins have. So maybe. Beyond me. But anyway, cute people have it hard. Odell, I wouldn't have had that problem if I was ugly. But Odell wouldn't have the problem because he's famous, really, in my opinion, for two things. One of them is the catch. Boom! Impressive. Which hand was it? Yeah, it was this one. Boom! Impressive, of course. He's also just famous for being cute. Yeah, he's like the Chris Brown of football. You see the way he dressed. He goes on red carpets and stuff. Let me catch myself. I was about to say they do not put ugly people on red carpets, but that is such a lie. I swear I will watch fashion shows too. I had someone try to describe this as me, but I asked, it was my teacher or my professor. I asked one time, I was like, so why do brands and stuff, why do they use ugly people as models? And this was such a serious question. Because, I'm not like, of course, I don't know what ugly means. It's just in my personal opinion. But it's like, I don't never see Louis Vuitton, Gucci, places like that. I'll never see him using, like, Chris Hemsworth as a model or, Chris Pratt. Let me just go with all the Chris's. Chris Evans. I never see them as, using them as models. It'd always be some person whose eyes are, like, here and their nose is up here. And they're super skinny or they're lanky. They like to use models that look like bugs. And I asked my teacher one day, she said, they don't go for people that are conventionally beautiful. They like to go for people that are artistically beautiful. And I think that's cheating. How do you get to? That's just an excuse. I think that's something that the models have come up with, so that rather than having to be good looking to be a model, they can just look quirky, like weird. I'm not gonna knock them for it. Same security guy, get your bag if you can. I'm like, bro, don't. The same thing I say about girls with their boyfriends. If he's ugly, don't post that shit. I don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. So that's exactly how I feel whenever I'm on some big fashion house's website and I see all these ugly ass models. I'm not gonna call them ugly. Different looking models in all this expensive clothing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just give me somebody. Give me somebody cute. Give me somebody who looks good. I don't think I'm asking for too much. I digress. Odell's famous for being pretty. Yes, he cut his hair. That was a bold move. He's also, I'd say, like third place is just he's known for having the gold. Gold. Ooh, who am I? She's so pretentious. The blonde hair on top. So he cut that. Kind of rebranding. I was like, ooh, he wore a skirt on the red carpet at the Met Gala. Ooh, whoa, he's taking it to the next level. And he's cute. Chris Brown of football, but people have to take issues with it. And I'm not gonna say per se it's ugly people that take issues with it, but it's not people that look like Odell, because they like what he's doing for the culture. They like that he's proving you can really have success. Because I mean, he's great at football, right? Past what would it be 3 seasons? Past 3 seasons, 2 seasons. When did he get injured? He got injured 2 years ago, huh? He hasn't really had a great 3-year stretch, but he's still named as one of the most popular football players. So he's proven you can be good at something. You ain't got to be great. If you're good and pretty, it's better than being great and ugly. Bold claim. I'm just gonna shot by a paintball or something. Yeah, ugly people. Us pretty people have problems. What can I say? That's what we need. We need a show. We need a Black Panther. No, we already have that. We already have the Black Panther for British people. We do need. No, there's enough representation. I'm not even gonna take it there. All we have are pretty people in Hollywood. I get enough representation there. I 100% do. I see myself a lot in people such as Chris Hemsworth. Alright. Now, not to get too deep, but there is something this has been weighing on my mind for a long time. And I've tried to talk to it about people in real life. And they always like to write it off as some this is a dumb idea. It's just the way it is. But I would venture to say you need to question everything. So this came to me like in a dream like a year ago. I'm going to ask, and if any of you can please give me a real answer, try. We'll see how it goes. But I want to know why memories can't be passed down through generations. Hear me out. Your memories are formed in your brain anyway. It's just connections between synapses. Synapses? It's just pretty much. So what I'm saying is that any given memory is a physical creation in your brain. Like, it is there. It is not just like some cloud. Your brain isn't just a big cloud. It's a physical thing. And the memories are formed when different synapses connect. So it's like, these, I don't know, 50. I don't have any of the number. But say these 10 synapses connect, and that is like how you remember that's how you remember your family vacation in 6th grade. And these 10 are how you remember your mom's voice or whatever. So I'm wondering why, because when a baby's in your mom's stomach, she creates the brain. Like, her body builds the brain. So why can't the body just recreate things that are in her brain and put it into the baby? So, because babies come out dumb as hell, right? I feel like this is the next step in evolution. And can I copyright evolution? Is that something I can do? Because I really want to claim this. But I'm definitely not going to go to school and learn how brain chemistry works in order to try to do something with this. But if the mom's building the brain anyway, why do they always make it a blank slate? Why can't they put ideas like, in the mom's brain, it's like, these 10 synapses say, don't drink bleach. Why can't she just build that into the baby's brain to try to help it get along better? I can understand why their bodies aren't fully formed, and their brains aren't fully formed either. But I mean, they can do stuff. Babies can. I mean, they don't do much, but they can do some stuff. I'm saying, I'm sick of how weak human babies are. Other babies come out, they can run, whatever. They might be dumb. Other babies are dumb. I mean, but the animals themselves are dumb. You know, a baby. I don't know the difference between the intelligence of a baby deer and a mama deer. I know the difference between me and my mom, though. Wildly different, especially when I was a baby. So, I think maybe actually I need to talk to Elon Musk one-on-one here. No, he does the space stuff, huh? I don't know anybody else that has the money to do. I don't know billionaires' names. So I'm talking to Elon Musk right here. Mano e mano, man to man. I think you should explore the possibility of creating babies with. Ooh, this probably isn't ethical. That's not my job. It's not my job to make sure that how this happens is ethical. I'm just throwing the idea out there, contributing my little nugget to humanity. I think we should explore the idea of creating babies with pre-existing memories from their moms. Maybe not from their moms. You probably have to like create the babies in a lab or something. Super babies. We're making super babies here. But create a baby with built-in, connections in their brain so the baby comes out. I mean, I'm not saying it needs to be super smart, and it doesn't need to be a Harvard graduate when it comes out. But if the baby could come out as smart as a 5-year-old, imagine how great that would be. They still might be limited, like in the physical aspect, but I mean, then you don't have to worry about when they start walking, like, oh, they're going to get into this, because they would know enough to at least protect themselves a little bit. And then even after the apocalypse happens, and we have to go back to like hunter-gatherer societies, it'd be very beneficial. It could be like, oh, you could. By then we would have figured it out, so we just build it in, but to people. But then when you give birth to a baby, and it comes out, ooh, baby, little baby, it can be a little smart baby. And it can know, like, oh, don't eat this. That'll poison you. Or, ooh, stay away from wolves. Don't crawl into fireplaces. Stuff like that. Just that I feel like it would really better humanity if our babies were not stupid. Because they are a liability to us. You can see it in shows like The Walking Dead. The baby. Like, the baby can know not to cry if there's zombies around. I'm talking, of course, in the apocalyptic situation here. So, right here, Elon, man to man, equal. We're right here with each other. Explore the option. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I think this is my $1 million idea. This might be the best one I come up with in my life. Actually, there's another idea. Y'all probably won't see it come to fruition for 5 to 10 years, but this is the one I'm willing to share. Make the smart babies. Make super babies. Not even super babies. Slightly smarter babies. Babies that come out with the intelligence of like a 3-year-old. Just stuff that, I mean, they might even need to stay in the stomach for a little bit longer. So probably not even be in the stomach. Gonna be in the lab. They need to stay in the chamber a little bit longer. Maybe you could just make a baby that you keep in the thing, grow it till it's a year old. Because I'm not saying you have to. I mean, obviously, it's hard to get 5 years of brain into because babies don't take super long. Gestation, I think that's what it's called, like when they're in the stomach. But hold on to the baby for a year, but then when it comes out, it's as smart as a 5-year-old. That is how we're going to better our society. Because in theory, that would also mean that I don't know if the intelligence would go exponentially or if it's linear. I don't really know how that works at all. The learning, as far as learning curve goes, but theoretically, that means that when the baby's 10, it's the intelligence of like a 15-year-old, and by the time the baby's in college, it could be as smart as a college graduate. Or I guess by the time the baby's college age, it probably would skip grades and stuff. But yeah, so then instead of where do people? I think people probably stop thinking when they're like 70. Like, you're still, thinking, but you're not, like, brain power. You're not thinking. Like, I'm no disrespect to my grandparents or anything. They definitely can think. They're just, it's not always something productive what they're thinking about. They think about oatmeal, and they'll think about, bingo, stuff like that. Car washes. I don't know what people think about. I'll find out 50 years. But I think people pretty much stop thinking around 70. So this would theoretically make it so that we get 5 years of extra intelligence off of somebody's life. Unless that means we get 5 less, because then when they're 65, they stop thinking. Like I said, I don't know the nitty gritty of it. This is a very broad idea, but it is mine. So do not try to claim it when you start creating babies in a lab scenario, not in a typical interpersonal scenario. But I think that's all I have to offer for today by way of my knowledge and wisdom and opinions on things that, as I called it on my little Word document here, hopefully original thoughts on unoriginal topics. That's got to go. That is so long-winded. But, and also, I tried to spell existential. I don't even know what that means. Actually, I'm going to look it up. But I called the bit, this why don't memories get passed down? That whole idea, I called it an existential question. But I don't know in the slightest how to spell existential. So, existential. Concerned with existence, especially human existence. Super babies? Is that existential? Stronger babies? I don't know. But I tried to spell and I wasn't even close. That's going to be backwards, huh? That was useless. That was so useless. Extententional. That's how I spelled it. But yeah, that's all I have to offer for today. So I will leave now. Thank you for watching. Perhaps I will do this again. Also, if you could please rate my setup, that'd be much appreciated. LaCroix, laptop, boom, for the light. That's the audience. It helps me get in the zone. There's the only thing worth anything in the setup, and it's not even that expensive. And I guess that's more of an audience right there. So, yeah, let me know what you think.